DCMGI, the Federal Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Transportation, university administrators, and private sector partners who worked tirelessly to make the project a reality. The federal government has officially connected the University of Abuja, Uni Abuja hostels to fiber broadband, marking a major step towards providing 24-hour internet access to special institutions nationwide by the end of 2026. The launch of the fiber to hostel internet infrastructure at the University of Abuja took place on Wednesday. The Education Minister, Dr. Maruf Alausa, highlighted the government efforts to improve learning through better digital and power infrastructure upgrades. He added that the University of Abuja, being one of the country's designated special institutions, is already benefiting from uninterrupted power supply and now high-speed internet connectivity. The federal government has clarified its 2024-2026 external borrowing plan submitted to the National Assembly on Tuesday, saying that it was essential for the implementation of the 2024-2026 Medium-Term Economic Framework (MTEF). The Federal Ministry of Finance said in a statement yesterday that the borrowing plan was for the entire nation, meaning that it included both federal and state governments and does not equate actual borrowing. Several media outlets interpreted the external borrowing plan to mean that the federal government was seeking $21.5 billion external loans. However, the ministry said that the actual external borrowing in the 2025 fiscal year stood at $1.23 billion. The statement issued by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Mr. Mohammed Manga, stated that the proposed borrowing ruling plan is an essential component of the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) in accordance with both the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 and the DMO Act 2003. Residents of Oyede community in Isoko North local government area have been called upon to maintain peace and support the more agenda of the state governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowori. The call came from the Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, at a stakeholders meeting convened in response to a petition regarding a looming internal crisis in the community held in his office at Asaba. Henry Onogwa reports.
Chief Uzo said the state government was aware of the petition and was committed to addressing the issues amicably, urging the people to collaborate with the local government chairman in seeking a peaceful resolution, as conflict would only hinder development. He appealed to the petitioners to submit the Oyede Constitution to the government for review to assist the team in studying the issues towards providing a lasting solution.
So we agreed to reach out to the council chairman to know how far he has gone and to encourage him to go ahead with the peace move, because government is one. Because in the absence of peace, there will be no development. It's the peace that has enabled all this development to come up. So that is the position.
The special advisor described peace as the foundation of development and urged community members to work together to protect their areas, assuring them that the council chairman would constitute a reconciliation committee to mediate the issues and pledging to engage all parties involved. The people expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the meeting and promised to maintain peace. Henry Onogwa reporting.
The Delta State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations (NIPR) has commended the state governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowori, on the occasion of his 2 years in office. In a statement signed by the chairman, Mr. Godfrey Osakwe, the institute lauded Governor Oborowori for his dynamic, people-oriented and development-focused leadership. The statement said the governor had consistently demonstrated that good governance was achievable through passion, commitment, sincerity of purpose, and genuine love for the people. He however expressed concern over the rising trend of insecurity in some parts of the state, particularly in Asaba, where reports had emerged of criminals allegedly hypnotizing passengers in commercial vehicles and kidnapping or robbing them. The body said the ugly development posed a serious threat to the brand image of Delta State, and it was unacceptable that residents and visitors should live in fear of such calculated criminality. It called on all to join efforts with the government in tackling the menace, as security was not the sole responsibility of government or law enforcement agencies, but a shared responsibility. The Abia State government has pledged to offset the hospital bills of the Aba billboard accident victims. A big billboard fell on some passengers in 5 tricycles in Aba on Wednesday, following a boisterous wind, killing 1 person and injuring 7 others. Managing Director of the Abia State Signage and Advertising Agency, Mrs. Victoria Omobiko, stated this in Aba at the Salad Market entrance, the site of the accidents. Mrs. Omobiko said the governor had given the necessary approval for procedures regarding the victims' treatment without hindrances, adding that the governor's chief of staff had been mandated to ensure the proper management of the victims at the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, ABSUTH, Aba. She said the agency would ensure such accidents did not reoccur, as henceforth it would inspect every advertising site in the state, adding that any site that was not sound would go down. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Saturday, July 20 for Ekiti governorship election and Saturday, August 8, 2026 for same exercise in Osun State. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, disclosed this today during the swearing-in of 6 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners recently confirmed by the National Assembly. According to Yakubu, the governorship election in Ekiti State is scheduled for Saturday, June 20, 2026, while that of Osun State will hold on Saturday, August 8, 2026. The INEC chairman disclosed that the tenure of the current governors elected in June and July 2022 will expire in 2026, necessitating early release of the election timetable and schedule of activities. Professor Yakubu said in line with the requirement of the law, the Commission was under legal obligation to publish the notices for major elections not later than 360 days before the date fixed for the election. The portal for the upload of nomination forms by political parties closes at 6 p.m. on February 9, 2026. That is not later than 180 days before the election. The final list of candidates will be published on 9th March 2026, while the campaign in public by political parties will commence on March 11, 2026 and end 24 hours before Election Day. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has renewed warnings on the dangers of Ponzi schemes, highlighting their devastating impact on investor confidence, financial stability, and the Nigerian capital market. This was a central theme of a paper titled Ponzi Schemes: Avoiding the Pitfalls of Illegality, presented by Head of the Enforcement Department of the SEC, Dr. Sahab Abdusalam, at the Capital Market Enlightenment Program organized for the Capital Market Correspondents of Nigeria. Dr. Abdusalam noted that the proliferation of fraudulent investment schemes continues to erode public trust in formal investment platforms. By offering unrealistic returns and operating outside the regulatory framework, they stabilized investor sentiment and undermined participation in legitimate capital market activities. Beyond the capital market, Dr. Abdusalam emphasized that the social and economic consequences of Ponzi schemes are far-reaching. Household financial losses, often involving life savings or borrowed funds, intensify socio-economic stress and threaten community cohesion. Nigeria has a long and troubling history with Ponzi schemes. According to Abdusalam, from the infamous Umana scheme in the 1990s to Nospecto in the early 2000s and the widespread MMM craze of the 2010s, fraudulent fund managers have repeatedly exploited regulatory gaps and economic vulnerabilities. Dr. Abdusalam noted that over 400 unlicensed fund managers were uncovered in 2010 alone, underscoring the scale of the threat. He attributed the rise of Ponzi schemes to several factors, including limited financial literacy, the law of quick returns during periods of economic hardship, and the rapid spread of misinformation through social media. You're watching Delta TV Main News. Still to come, Enugu State Government demolishes multi-story buildings belonging to a billionaire native doctor. Details of this story and many more will come after the short break. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned and welcome back to Delta TV Main News. The chairman of the board of the Delta Trust Mortgage Bank Limited, Honorable Jude Ogwimi, has congratulated Governor Sheriff Oborowori on his 2 years in office. The former lawmaker who represented Isoko North constituency in the State House of Assembly said the ascension of the governor to the esteemed office on May 29, 2023 was ordained by God and executed by the loving people of Delta State. Honorable Ogwimi described the governor as a seasoned leader whose impact in governance came as no surprise to him, adding that Deltans were happy with the governor's development strides and remarkable achievements in just 2 years. He commended numerous infrastructural developments across the state, such as the construction of 3 flyovers in Efun and Enere by Julius Berger, the near completion of the Asaba-Ugeli Expressway, and the re-awarding and funding of the Ayakoromo Bridge project. The Delta Trust Mortgage Bank boss noted that the Moore administration had supported small and medium businesses through financial grants, creating vibrant socio-economic activities in the state, adding that the bank's transformation into a profitable financial institution and one of the best in the country was achieved through the renowned innovation reforms of the governor. In line with the laws of the state, the Enugu State government has demolished multi-story buildings belonging to a billionaire native doctor identified as Ozo Eziani, popularly known as Ide Pray, Ide Show. The demolition was carried out on Tuesday night after news broke out about his alleged involvement in ritual killings in his residence in Unimba, Eziago local government area. The native doctor met his Waterloo when 2 boys working for him allegedly abducted a 13-year-old girl in the community and hid her in a pit in the premises. The girl was later rescued by security operatives who traced her to the pit in an uncompleted building used as a shrine. Further checks revealed that what appeared to be a Sokore pit in Eziani's home turned out to be a mass grave filled with the remains of his victims, including pregnant women. The development has since sparked rage, with the villagers on Tuesday burning all the buildings in Eziani's compound and vehicles. They also dug up sealed holes inside the buildings containing human remains. The Enugu State Command of the Nigerian Police Force has confirmed the incident, adding that through the partnership of the command with the members of the community, the 13-year-old girl was rescued and 3 more suspects arrested for kidnapping and ritual murder. The police said investigations revealed that the deceased victims were currently murdered and buried in the pit by the suspect for ritual purposes, and the rescued child was moments away from suffering the same fate before the timely intervention. The Commissioner of Police, CP Maman Gira, who promptly visited the crime scene, commended the efforts of the police operatives, local security groups, and community members whose collaboration ensured the success of the operation. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has announced the arrest of the kidnapper and ritualist Obi Levi Obieze, also known as Ezeani. The suspect, who has been on the run, was earlier declared wanted by the Nigerian police force over his alleged involvement in kidnapping and ritual killings. A statement yesterday by the NIS said the suspect was arrested by men of the service at Baji checkpoint on the Badagry-Seneb road while attempting to flee the country on a motorcycle. He is currently in custody and his identity had been confirmed through a National Identity Management Commission enrollment slip found in his possession. However, during initial questioning, he admitted to the alleged crimes. The NIS said it was collaborating with the Nigerian police force for the suspect's handover and further investigation, while reaffirming its commitment to ensuring border security. And now to news around the world. Flights have been temporarily disrupted yesterday night at Liberia main airport after a private jet carrying President Joseph Boakai almost crashed while landing. Airport authorities said part of the presidential jet's landing gear malfunctioned while approaching the runway, causing a rough landing. The incident, which sparked panic at the airport, forced the cancellation of all scheduled flights for the night. President Boakai, who was returning from a trip in Nigeria with his entourage, was safely evacuated on hand as authorities announced an investigation. The France Health and Family Minister, Ms. Catherine Vautrin, has said the country will ban smoking in all outdoor places that can be frequented by children. The ban will come into force on July 1 and will include beaches, parks, public gardens, outside schools, bus stops, and sports venues. Ms. Vautrin added that the freedom to smoke must end where the freedom of children to breathe fresh air begins. She said the outdoor areas of cafes and bars, known as terraces, would be exempt from the ban. Ms. Vautrin explained that breaking the rules would incur a $153 fine. She said regular police would enforce the ban, but also added that she was a great believer in the self-regulation. Although electronic cigarettes were exempt, Ms. Vautrin said that she was working to introduce limits on the amount of nicotine they contain. According to the French Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction, 23.1% of the French population smokes on a daily basis, the lowest percentage ever recorded, and a fall of over 5 points since 2014. France's National Committee Against Smoking says more than 75,000 smokers die each year of tobacco-related illnesses, 13% of all deaths. Smoking in establishments like restaurants and nightclubs have been banned in France since 2008. And now to South Africa. A suspect wanted for the murder of a South African university student has been killed in a shootout with the police. The man was linked to the death of Miss Olarato Mongale, whose body was found in Johannesburg on Sunday, about 2 hours after she was reported missing, having gone on a date. Police spokesperson Brigadier Atlenda Math said in the early hours today, police officers found the main suspect hiding at a residential complex in the coastal town of Amanzimtoti. Brigadier Math noted that the suspect, who had not been named by the police, shot at the officers, who returned fire and killed him. Ms. Mongale's death has sparked a fierce debate about the levels of violence faced by women in South Africa. Welcome back home. A group of retirees of NNPC Limited has expressed fears that their savings with the NNPC Staff Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, Lagos, may have been lost following a leadership crisis in the organization. Content creation can help the group, which sought for an urgent Intervention from the management of NNPC Limited and the Lagos State government said members of the cooperative have not been able to make withdrawals from their savings nor receive dividends from the cooperative in the past 6 years. Speaking to journalists, the chairman of the retirees group, Elder Ante O. Ante, called for a forensic audit of the cooperative accounts in the past 6 years and the removal of the current management, which he described as illegitimate. Ante disclosed that the cooperative which declared a questionable profit of 96 million naira in 2021, dramatically declared a loss amounting to 806 million naira in 2022. He explained that since then, no annual general meeting has been held by the cooperative, leading to fears that the savings may have been lost. He explained the essence of the cooperative society was to provide assistance, immediate or emergency solutions to financial crisis of members, but that for up to 10 years, they had not received the normal dividends from the cooperative, and yet members have been contributing on a monthly basis. Also speaking, a former president of the cooperative, Mr. Ode Ochicha, lamented that his savings with the cooperative have been trapped. And now to sport. The victorious Team Delta contingent to the 2024 National Sports Festival in Ogun State, tagged Gateway 2024, arrived Asaba today after winning the games for a 5th consecutive time and a record 9 times. Henry Usiayo reports.
The contingent who arrived in batches to the Stephen Keshi International Stadium, Asaba, were welcomed by some members of the Delta State Sports Commission. Team Delta garnered 122 gold, 96 silver, and 105 bronze medals, bringing to a total of 323 medals, placing them at the top of the final medal table at the conclusion of the festival yesterday. Swimming sensation Clinton Upute, who smashed the men's 200-meter butterfly and the 400-meter freestyle record, and other athletes in an interview expressed gratitude to God for making it possible for Team Delta to successfully defend the title, as well as the state governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowori, the Delta State Sports Commission, Mr. Olorede Oborowori, and their coaches.
It was really tough at first, and it was fun and tough. That is the spirit of sports. My coach was proud of me because I showed it's working, so it's really proud of me.
It feels awesome, it feels nice, it feels training base.
It was tough, but
thank God. I won 8 gold, 2 silver, 1 bronze.
Wow. It's really so great. I thank God we made it possible.
Some Deltans who were on ground at the Stephen Keshi Stadium to receive the athletes thanked them for not letting the state down and described the victory as a gift to the state governor on his 2 years anniversary.
Well, today is a very special day for us here in Delta State. As you all are aware, the National Sports Festival has just ended in Ogun, Abeokuta, and Delta State has come up victorious once again. And we are very much happy. Delta State contingents have made us proud. That is why before their arrival back home, we decided to put this together to really welcome them, to appreciate them, to show our love and joy and satisfaction to having make this happen. In fact, we really appreciate His Excellency Sheriff Oborowori. We appreciate the athletes, the coaches, and all the officials, and all those who have really made this wonderful. That is why we are here to showcase our joy and satisfaction.
God has written it down that this is golden Delta. This is the year that we sweep every gold away from our state, and to mark the 2nd year anniversary of our state government. We give him this and we say my agenda, everything more and more for us. Golden Delta will continue to win.
Team Delta won their first National Sports Festival title in Bauchi 2000, regaining the title in Abuja 4 years later in 2004 after losing it to host Edo in 2002. The state retained the title in Ogun in 2006 and Kaduna in 2009. Similarly to 2002, Team Delta lost the title to host Rivers State in 2011, but reclaimed it in Lagos in 2012 and subsequently in Abuja in 2018, Edo in 2020, Delta in 2022, and the Gateway Games in 2024. Henry Usiayu reporting.
The Nationwide League One NLO has won clubs against luring of players from non-professional teams. The NLO said the behavior was unacceptable according to the rule book, adding that the action was a punishable offense. The league body acknowledged that the Federation of International Football Association (FIFA) stipulated that all amateur players' transfers were free because they were not on contract, pointing out that, however, did not translate to poaching or inducement. Still in sports, Brentford defender Benjamin Frederick has replaced Christantius Uche in Super Eagles squad for the Unity Cup Invitational Tournament. Uche failed to secure entry visa to the United Kingdom for the competition. The Getafe striker is now expected to link up with the Super Eagles for the international friendly against Russia next week Friday. His replacement, Frederick, trained with the team yesterday night. The centre-back was outstanding for Brentford in the 2024-2025 season. He was named the Bees Young Player of the season. The Super Eagles will face Reggae Boys of Jamaica in the final of the Unity Cup tomorrow. Christians have been advised to always speak the truth and remove the spirit of fear, as doing so can turn sorrows into joy. Reverend Father Francis Ebite gave the admonition today at a mass for the late Mr. Charles Osai Inurugu at the St. Mary Vianney Catholic Church, Asaba. Gloria Otolo reports.
In his sermon, Reverend Father Ebite emphasized the importance of speaking the truth and living with integrity, citing Ephesians 4 verse 25, which encourage believers to be truthful and righteous despite challenges and fears. He reminded the congregation that the truth would always set them free and urged them to face their fears with courage and confidence, trusting that the truth would ultimately speak for them. The cleric encouraged the family of the deceased to be united and strive to emulate the good character of their late father.
Let us know that we are not alone as children of God. Let us always constant speaking the truth and talk not.
A reception for guests was later held at the DBS Asaba Event Center, where the children of the deceased described their father as a peaceful, loving man and God-fearing man.
He was the most intelligent and still is the most intelligent man I've ever met in my entire life. He is the wisest person that ever graced the face of the earth. My dad has always been a peaceful person, and I'm sure that even now that he's dead, he's resting peacefully with the Lord. I miss him so much, and I know that as I'm saying I miss him so much, I'm saying it for all my brothers and sisters. We miss him dearly.
One thing I know is a peacemaker, he's a peace-loving man. He's someone that he does not like trouble.
He was a very kind, supportive, disciplined man. The legacy he left is by being my father.
Let Mr. Charles Osai Enwewugu, 61, is survived by his children and grandchildren, among other relatives, including Miss Valerie Lwaka Ni Enwewugu of the DBS Asaba. Gloria Otolo reporting.
That's our news. Now our thought for the day. One that gives to the needy is only sowing a seed for better tomorrow. Let's look at our major stories before we go. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Wale Edun, has said the federal government will be reaching out to the poorest and vulnerable Nigerians with payments to help cushion the high cost of living. Dr. Edun, who stated this when he appeared on a television program, maintained that such laudable steps by the Tinubu-led administration were one of many safety measures put in place to lift the population out of poverty. Residents of Oyede community in Isoko North local government area have been called upon to maintain peace and support the more agenda of the state governor, the Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewere. The call came from the Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, at a stakeholders meeting convened in response to a petition regarding a looming internal crisis in the community held at his office in Asaba. In line with the laws of the state, the Enugu state government has demolished multi-story buildings belonging to a billionaire native doctor identified as Ozo Ezeani, popularly known as Ide Pray, Ide Show. We also reported that flights have been temporarily disrupted yesterday night at Liberia Main Airport after a private jet carrying President Joseph Boakai almost crashed while landing. That ends Delta TV Main News. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Blessing Usiagwada. Have a lovely night rest and goodbye for now.
Governor Sheriff's administration is committed to delivering impactful governance that will improve the lives of Deltans. Take a look at the inauguration of the Boji Owa Mixed Modern Market, which was inaugurated some days ago.
The newly inaugurated Boji Owa Market, which includes a modern abattoir, is crucial towards stimulating innovation.
Governor Sheriff.
And because Governor Sheriff is dedicated to provide sustainable, he has also encouraged timely maintenance.
About the well-being.
ESFC in line with the more agenda, opportunities for all. So Governor Sheriff, he don't call for the redesign of academic curricula to equip graduates with the technical skills necessary for them to become job